My name is Elena Eagleshield. I'm from the Standing Rock Reservation. We just see project-based learning where we are focused on hands-on learning in the traditional Lakota Dakota culture, which is basically based around our values and our traditional beliefs. And so we have a 13-month calendar according to the Lakota way of life, which coincides with the constellation and the star knowledge that we carry. We also want to make sure that we have the core teachings that are involved with math, reading, writing, but also really trying to incorporate critical thinking. I've had my bachelor in biology with a minor in chemistry and a pre-med emphasis. So definitely understanding that research and understanding how to critically think through different problems and observe things really closely is something that our people a long time ago, the Lakota people, used to know, because we had to make sure that we were aligning our everyday walk of life with the stars and how it mirrored here on Earth. So we have certain ceremonies that happen throughout the whole 13-month calendar year that we had to make sure that we were observing those things. And the way we want to build this school and have it be represented is that we would love to have the school based around those ceremonies that our people had participated in. So we have the spring equinox, the summer solstice, the fall solstice, and we also have winter ceremonies that our people had participated in. And we would love to build our curriculum around that. We have to make sure that our children are critical thinkers. So for our school, we would definitely make sure that they're writing in their books, in their field books. Any project that we do, we're not just going to hand them the materials and expect them to know how to use them. We want to explain why we do this. So for instance, if we made a bow and arrow, we would want them to get the trees themselves, cut down the twigs, make sure that they measure, make sure that they're using the right tools to cut them, and also to learn the degree or the angles that they have to shoot at, how far it'll go. So to be able to chart those, be able to document which trees work the best, which branches work the best, how the tools are used to cut them. And so that's only one project. We have so many different ideas that we have in mind, the Lakota and Dakota people, the different projects that they would, or the different activities and tools and different things that they would make throughout the year to survive. They had to be able to tan hides. They had to be able to understand how a teepee was put up, which direction it faces and why, and to understand the connections of how the teepee reflects, the star constellations, and why we were nomadic, because there were certain times of the year when we told stories in certain areas. There were certain times of the years where we called back certain entities, like the thunders. When it was time for the thunders to come back, there were ceremonies that we did, and there was specific places within the Black Hills or different areas around Indian or Lakota territory where we would call back those entities that were very sacred to us. And so teaching them the histories and the oral traditions, we have different sacred ceremonies that we still practice to this day, teaching them how to prepare for those. Also the meaning behind them and what needs to be set up before that, the songs that they sing, elders and the children, and who all needs to be a part of those. Some ceremonies are specific for women, some ceremonies are specific for men. So making sure that our kids, the kids in our school, understand that this is not just a school that they're going to. This is a way of we call it nahi ungichopi, a way of calling their spirits back to who they are, by not only learning about these ceremonies and ways of life, but living them and practicing them. Each year it'll get more intense. So the kids that are way younger, They'll do smaller activities. By the time they're in high school, they'll know how to speak their languages. They'll know the songs that are needed to be sung for certain ceremonies, what spirits they call, what times of the year that they were sung, or the stories that were told, so that they have that complete grasp of who they are by the time they graduate. And they'll have not only that grasp, they'll have research, they'll have field knowledge by writing in their field books, observation. They'll know how to do math, they'll know how to do physics, they'll know how to read and write, not only in English, but in our Lakota language. And so these are the things that we envision for our school, and we really appreciate your program and your staff and everybody who's involved for considering us for this grant. Pilamaya.